she is.
Just because you say something emphatically doesn't make it true.
Well, just because you do this with your hands doesn't make it true either.
Things are bubbling up in Mexico this week. Let's recap this week's episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County. Get a non-John Jansen update on Shannon's life to start off with. She's going into business with Dr. Moon to try and find a way to pay for half of all three of her girls' education. I do like her practical approach for handling her expenses. She needs to diversify. I wonder if there was any sense of the girls having to work at all themselves to help contribute to their school expenses, if it's such a struggle for Shannon to pay half. I worked every year that I was in university for undergrad and grad school, so this is a foreign concept to me, of parents paying for everything. Jenn's mom visits her from Oklahoma. Her mother has never met Ryan before because she, I guess, wasn't ready, but now she's about to do it in front of the world on camera. Jenn's mom seems sweet and genuine, just like Jenn. It seems like because Ryan is putting the pressure on for them to get married, Jenn wants to make sure she's not in a bubble where everything seems right without input from people who truly know her. We know that her college friend Taylor seems to like Ryan, at least more than she liked Will, and seemingly gave Jenn her stamp of approval. Let's see what her mom thinks. Heather throws a party for the launch of her HD network. Both Jenn and Tamra show up in lime green. All the ladies are in bright colors, but Heather sticks to her classic black. I think Gina looks fantastic. She can sometimes really be a fashion miss, but her pink dress looked awesome on her. We find out that Heather's family has actually fully moved out of the house and are staying in a hotel. They're closing on the sale the day after the party, and Heather doesn't feel comfortable telling the ladies in the group about it. I don't blame her. They seem to be coming after her a lot lately. At this HD party, Emily is super drunk and is making a lot of comments about Heather's branding HD everywhere and the fancy food. She's operating on 8 glasses of champagne, an empty stomach, and new resentment towards Heather because she won't tell her all the things Shannon was saying behind her back at BravoCon. Everyone at the table is starting to pick up on it, and Gina tells her to cool it.
Stop.
What?
Being a dick. Is something bothering you? I don't disagree with you. I agree with you, but you cannot address that here today.
Duly noted.
All right.
The fact that Gina is able to be truthful and tell Emily she was acting like a dick just shows how real their friendship is. A true friend is going to tell you when you're stepping over the line, and Gina did that. Heather is visibly annoyed at the way Emily is acting, but is trying her best to ignore it. A few days later, Shannon and Tamra FaceTime, and Shannon tells her that Heather reprimanded her for not responding until the last minute about not coming to her party. I don't know, I don't think that's unreasonable. If I'm inviting you to my house for a party, let me know if you're coming or not so that I can count you out. During the call, Tamra sees a story about Heather selling her house, and we get clips of all the ladies starting to find out and FaceTiming each other, asking why Heather didn't share anything with them. This is more ammunition they can use against her. She doesn't share real life with them. They're not really close. She pretends that they're friends. Heather points out that they come after her every time she shares good news, and they tell her it seems like she's bragging, which it does. I've said this many times. But I can see her point that sharing that she's now $55 million richer is not going to come off in a good way at all from Heather Dubrow. There was no winning that situation. Jen's mom meets Ryan for the first time. He chooses a ridiculous jacket to wear, but I'd actually be more surprised if he wore something decent. Jen's face at the beginning of this, she was nervous as hell. They sit down and immediately Ryan dives into the cheating issues and lays it all out on the table. Can this man just stop talking about it? We get it. That's your sticking point that makes you mildly relevant to being on the show, but I'm so sick of hearing about it. Jen's mom can't stop talking about how great of a father and husband Will was. Why would her mom just talk about the ex that Jenn felt didn't treat her right and cheated on? I don't know what this meeting means. Will this bring Jenn closer to feeling a little bit more comfortable with the idea of marrying Ryan? Who knows? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Okay, the women decide to go to Mexico at Heather's party. On the bus to the hotel, the classic room debate comes up. There are 3 rooms and everyone pairs up pretty quickly, and Heather is the odd man out. At dinner, there's a big elephant in the room, and finally Tamra asks about the house sale. Gina tries to be super positive about it, but there's clearly tension from some of the women about Heather not saying anything. Shannon basically calls Heather hypocritical because she accused Shannon of not sharing elements of her life. I see both sides. If I had to sign an NDA, I don't care, vault or not, I'm not sharing the info with you. But I can totally see how the ladies are upset and thinking Heather doesn't trust them. Now, when she said the news leaked before she could share it and she thought they were going to celebrate on the Mexico trip, that was a reach. Why would they celebrate you selling your house? They could be happy for her, sure, but celebrate? Really? That's too much. Emily and Heather have a bit of a blow up about the way Emily has been acting towards her, and especially the way she was acting at Heather's party. Emily says she was making a joke about the HDs all over the place and didn't think she was being negative. They go back and forth over who's hurt more about the stupid comments, and Emily drops the info about Shannon badmouthing her at BravoCon. Turns out it may have been Tamra who made the comments instead.
I was in the room with Heather and Emily when Heather made that comment about Shannon saying bad stuff about us, but I was actually pretty sure that she said it was Tamra, not Shannon.
None of the other women can believe this argument and are either laughing at the ridiculousness or just sitting around with their mouths hanging open. This was dumb. And what is with BravoCon showing up as a point of contention on some of these Housewives shows? We get a clip of the next episode. The Mexico trip continues and Vicky shows up to whoop it up. She's clearly trying hard to win her peach back because she is stirring the pot. The Heather-Emily saga continues with the weird body-shaming comments, and we circle back to the Jenn cheating relationship conversation. I'm over that. Let's at least see what Vicky brings to the table next week. What did you guys think of this week's episode? I'd give it about a 6 out of 10. Kind of meh. That's it for this week's recap. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch up next week. Bye.